Test, test. Hello Guardians, it is Ebontis, and in this video I want to go through a guide for the master version of Bunker E15. We're going to have the threat of Void and Shields are Void, so we got to manage a Void somehow. We've got Barrier and Overload champions. Barrier, pretty easy. Overload are the annoying part for sure. And when you jump in here, we're going to have, of course, Strand and Solar Surge. This is Season 20. Void Threat, and then Barrier and Overload. So, options that we've got on the table, and the reason I'm running this. One, I'm trying not to run an exotic, so if you've got an exotic, you could probably do this better. Something like Lament would be better here, for example. But what I'm trying to do is show you guys an example of low-level stuff, and then you can probably make it better in every way. So Overload SMG, pretty simple. Funnel web, high level as you got. That's the biggest thing, is like the actual level of your gear will matter up to a certain point, and I think the level, like when you get to 1810 and finally have some pinnacles really start dropping, like getting your gear that you're using on something master leveled up to 1810 will make a difference as opposed to having your artifact be up there. So try and be as high as possible with the gear. Again, I'm still doing this early in the season. So Overload weapon, very straightforward for this part. Now, the second thing I'm doing is I'm running Strand. And the main reason I am running Strand is dealing damage generates grenade energy. This is probably the most important thing in here because I'm running Shackle Grenade. The Overload Minotaurs in here will charge you, and they will kind of mess you up if you can't keep them contained. And if your Overload weapon is not just like a beast, then it's really hard to keep them in check. So I'll show you guys how I manage this. Rapid Precision hit emits Severing. Like, none of these are really crucial for all of this stuff, but Suspend, Unravel, and Sever effects have increased duration. This is actually going to be really important because we're using the Shackle Grenade to keep the Overload champions in the air and basically suspended. Now, the other thing I did on the artifact, I went for Overload Sword. And the main reason I went for Overload Sword is because it's one of the few things I think that's going to put out enough damage to really kind of matter. Really weird. It's like, it doesn't show major spec here, but it does here. And this is just a basic sword. It's not a god tier sword, just a basic one that I had on my character, and it's solar. So, Barrier, it's up to you. If you want to use something like Wish Ender, probably would hit pretty hard, would be great for the boss's shield. I'm trying not to use a bow. Specifically, I'm trying not to use specifically this weapon because it is god tier in here. But if you do have Wish Ender, I would recommend using it. Right now, just using a basic pulse rifle, major spec on everything. I am running 100 resilience, of course, for the 30% damage mitigation. Then I'm running Void resistance and Arc resistance because you're going to have multiple things shooting at you. And concussive damper because basically all of the damage in here is concussive. That should be most of it. I've got Invigoration and like all of these mods on here so you can see them. Nothing too dramatic. Void Siphon for the kills that you do occasionally get. And Heavy Ammo Finder, trying to keep the heavy ammo up will be good. And we're going to jump in. Again, this is not an optimal. This is one that hopefully everybody, no exotics, can run. I'm going to try not to abuse my Titan Lash ability too much. Probably 1 or 2 points that I will. But again, everybody's got their benefits and you could run better gear as well. So, here we go. Attrition is here, so Yahoo, let's get it going. Alright, so first thing, don't peek too far up. All you're trying to do right now is take out these basic ads. There's an Overload champion down below. So we want to get to him a little bit later. There will be a Vandal back there behind that rock, but he's probably going to stay back there for a little while. So for now, all we are trying to do is clear the ads because we're eventually going to have to go down there and deal with the Overload champion, but we'll do that kind of in person. This is where your machine gun will probably get a stun off. You just need to get enough damage, and this is why you need arc resistance. All this stuff coming at you is arc, definitely hurts, and you eventually got to be able to do a little work with those ads. But yeah, that guy's going to be back there, and he's just really frustrating. So, goal first off is try not to take too much damage, get your health back, give it a second. Like, I really wish I could just shoot that guy, because as soon as I jump down, he will be there. So, this is what I'm talking about and how I manage him. Get him in the air, and then I'm going to keep the Overload damage on him. And this allows me to do what I'm doing right now. Now, that's the guy that I don't really want to deal with. Now, this is where, as a Titan, I am using my Lash. Because I'm trying to get that grenade back. And that guy up top needs to die. This is why the arc resistance is so important. And again, messed that up. Sucks. There we go. Alright, so he's down. And again, I hadn't used too much heavy yet, so now he's gonna hurt a little bit, but if you can swing and kind of keep him stunned like this, he will be a little more easy to manage. There we go. It was easier to manage there if this guy is down, but he always hides behind the rock first. So it's either can go up there and try and get after him, or you can kind of hope for the best like I did, and it didn't quite work out. So, nice thing about this lost sector, you always have your little buddies here. So, they will be helping do damage and shoot stuff as you go. If I can get an orb, that would be nice. Here's our little attrition nodes, and we're good. Now, down here, you're going to have like 2 or 3 goblins and the Minotaur. Again, this is a great place for your grenade. I've got volatile rounds on, so Void is actually going to be doing some work here. And again, if I'm really concerned, use that grenade. So use that grenade when you can. It's going to kind of help you manage some things. Now, when you come in here, first thing you want to do is just release all of your helpers. So, jump up here. One. Here's one. And here's one. Try and avoid the snipes. Get all of the helpers out. Kind of let them be free. Run around for a minute. We can start working on these guys over here. They will be the first group. Being shot from the side, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, attrition just hurts. It just does. Nothing I can do about it. Now up here, we're going to have a hobgoblin usually hanging out. Really, buddy? You got some ads. You know, I'll throw a tangle out there. Nothing too specific. Second wave will have your champions, though, so be ready for them. Got an orb. That'll give me a little volatile rounds for a bit. Now, the big one to watch out for is the Cyclops here, especially if you're going for a flawless run. That will be the hard part. He will fire and just hurt like crazy. Now, you technically can tangle him, or I guess, yeah, suspend him. It will just look kind of goofy, but you can do it. Can have some goblins off to the side. Watch those. Well, somehow I survived that. I'm not entirely sure how, but I'm not going to argue. Okay. And this is why attrition sucks. Your health just does not come back. So in a time you'd normally be like, oh, I've surely got my health back by now. You don't. Now, if I want to go whale on this guy, I can. I don't really need to, so I won't. And again, you have the help from all the other guys, which really does a lot more than you think for damage. You can almost let the boss go untouched, and as long as you're patient, he will technically die. Now you have 2 barrier champions. You got 1 on each side. Nice to see some ammo, so I can go a little harder on this guy. But again, they'll whittle the health down, and then if you're ready with your barrier weapon, you're pretty much good to go. There you go. Now the nice thing is, once you've got him stunned, if you want to, pop him up in the air, and then everybody can work on him together. And now we go forward. This is one of the easier lost sectors just because you've got help, which you don't really ever have that in much other places. Alright. Actually got the hobgoblin down, but you are going to have a wyvern in here. He's going to be the hard one. No question. That's one of those where if I can actually suspend the wyvern, I'll do it. So I'll wait till he gets closer over here. Or if he's getting attacked by something else, get a little damage on him as you can. The wyvern's going to be the one that hurts the most early. And then you're going to have your overload champions. You don't have any more wyverns later, but the overload champions are less fun. So your little buddies are helping quite a bit. And maybe it's because they're solar, they do so much. I'm not entirely sure why they're so effective. Because you would be like, surely they're not going to do that much for me, but they actually do. Kind of hard to know why, but he's just hanging out over here eventually. Now, that's the stuff that hurts. That stuff is, I swear, the stuff that's affected by, like, frame rate and everything else. Now, if he's below 50%, which he is, you can finish him. Just below 50%, get the finisher, and then back up. Because guess what? Boss is coming hot. And here's the first overload. I'm going to try and pull him back here. He should be coming in any second. Did he really not? That's so surprising. Normally he beelines right in here. Now the fact that he didn't, yeah, he ran up there. Boss will just basically ruin you. Yeah, that stuff, that's just delete. So the void threat is on, so that stuff's really going to hurt. Concussive and void will help. This is where it gets a little tricky because you're trying to deal with a guy that you can't really get a great shot on without him just completely annihilating you. Now, if I can hang behind this, I'm going to try for the risk of it to go for it. Now, later on, I'll show you where I actually normally take care of the guys back in this tunnel, but for the moment, he was being frustrating. So, barrier weapon's great on the big hydras. Shoot through their shield. If he turns to you, just make sure you hide in the tunnel. Like that. And the shots will be coming down. There. Wait for him to kind of lose line of sight on you. Wait for the other guys to get some damage on. And just pepper him. And this is why this will be a slower. And if I had Wish under here, the damage is just real chunky. He goes pretty quick. But yeah, your barrier weapon has two purposes. The couple barrier champions and then the boss. Now, when he moves down here, a champion will appear. So be aware. Now, you can still pepper him until you see the boss for damage. But when the champion comes in, you're going to want him to come say hello. You want to pull him down the hallway. I usually get below the ramp. One more teleport. Try and stun him here. And then now I'm going to go for this. But I've got my grenade. Even if he is in the ceiling. And this is why the longer suspension helps. Because it just keeps him kind of stuck up there in the ceiling. And if you can manage the damage just about right, you should be able to get him killed. And that's kind of the thing. He's normally not in the ceiling like that, but that's kind of where the suspend grenade works, because he will still fall, but you're able to do damage to him. Sword is probably one of those that's like, it's good for ammo, which is why I do like it, because I was trying to chunk him with a grenade launcher, and it might have been like 1805 or something like that. Maybe 1803. It wasn't that high, though, and it just took almost all my ammo. So just heavy ammo efficiency was not happening. And all you're doing is trying to pepper damage on him. Look for champions to spawn in the corner. And next wave is coming. Champion will spawn, and we'll get some more champion work going. So again, help what you can from far away. You know, shoot him with something that's not going to be too bad. I've got my shackle grenade up again. As long as I tick him off, he'll come back and join me. I don't want that guy annoying my fun here. And the overload will at least continually keep him stunned so he's not getting his health back, which kind of is the only thing that matters on overloads, because if they get the health back, it's just really sucks. So those are always nice to get you a little bonus damage. He's so far away, not going to do much to me over here. If he does fire, he'll still hit you, but you got a little warning. Wait for him to kind of line of sight you, pull back a little bit. I've got an ammo brick back here, which is a nice little bonus. I think we got one more champion to go. If from Master, at least I think we do. If he's turned to where you can shoot the head, there we go. So here's the last set of ads. Should be the last set of ads. See a champion spawn. Normally do. I feel like there's going to be a champion somewhere. Sorry about my nose, guys. Doesn't sound wonderful. Such little health. It's like there's an attrition node in the middle of those arc wells, which is... Go away. Go away. Slowly coming back. There it is. There still should be one more champion. I feel like we've got one more coming. I don't think you're completely done. No, I've killed like 2. There's the champion. Literally just like right apparently at the Inquisitor. At the O of Inquisitor. So again, trying to put some damage into him so he comes to you is your goal. I've got my shackle grenade up. I've got my sword ready. Don't have to reload it, which is nice. He's going to come down the tunnel. One more. Stun him. And then again, when you're ready... You got to do that thing. You can only get so many like airborne shots at him. But yeah, the increased time of suspension is massive. Like, the amount of time he just lingers up in the air is kind of amazing. We got a little more damage on the boss and we'll be good. And this is just how I did it with no exotics. Lament would be better. Wish Ender would be better. If you've got a way to delete... Like, for Strand, I can't, you know... I can't do enough damage to anything for a Titan, because all my roaming supers just don't do that good chunk of damage. If you got something like a Nova Bomb, you want to go chunk that at one of these guys, sure. But then you give up the Tangle. For me, the Tangle just really helped at a lower level, keep him contained, and then I could just keep the damage on him that I needed to, so that way I could actually keep the overload stun going. He's going to die any second. There we go. Got my code. Should see platinum rewards. I saw it the first time. If you rerun these things back to back, sometimes you won't see platinum rewards pop up. But we should have platinum rewards. You should at least be able to check the bottom corner. Champion rewards, platinum barely swung by. So that is all your champions. That is Bunker E15, sub 15 minutes. So again, you still got your reses. And again, by no means is this the most efficient, but hopefully this helps you guys get to the finish line, which is the main goal. There are ways to make this more efficient with better exotics and things of that nature, but this is one of the ways to get it done, at least for a little while. Fastest farm, sorry. Let's get back to the top and we'll wrap it up. So that basically wraps it up for Bunker E15. Again, the void resistance is big, but also the arc resistance will help. Concussive kind of the whole way through. Other than that, you know, anything that help you picking up orbs. For my artifact, again, I was running Overload Sword. I had the Shatter Orbs, so anytime you break a shield the first time you're getting orbs, which will happen a decent amount. Volatile Flow, Volatile's nice if you can get it. Bricks from Beyond, though. You do have that Void Weapon kill, getting you a chance at heavy ammo is going to have some benefit to it as well. Overall, I think I had this too. You gain a temporary bonus to Void Weapon damage when you defeat a target, but I wasn't running a Void subclass, so not as big of a deal. Yeah, Overload, Barrier, bonus Overload, and honestly kind of the way I managed to deal with them. If you shoot them with a rocket, and then you got to stun them again, they take a little while to restun, and I'm usually dead by the time that happens. So between the Shackle Grenade and the Sword... You can kill them in one grenade, one sword, finish them, you should be good to go. So, if you found this beneficial, drop a like below. If you got a loadout that you thought was better or also worked, drop that in the comments. Always love to see those. If you guys want to check out my Twitch or Twitter, you can find that over there at Ebontis on both. But right here on YouTube, if you're new, please hit that subscribe button as we continue to grow to 100K. Thank you guys for all the support, and I'll see you soon.